Good evening, everyone. Hello. This is Kim with Kim's Creations and Card Ministry. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm coming to you tonight from YouTube. I would love to be coming to you live. It is Tuesday, May the 2nd, 2023. And like I said, I would love to be able to come live, and I could really use some help with that, because I think that YouTube won't allow me to come live until I have a certain number of subscriptions, a certain number of comments, a certain number of likes and shares. So if you all could do that, send your friends to do that, and find the little bell and subscribe to my page, that would be awesome. And I would greatly appreciate it, because it would just help me get out there a little bit more and expand my ministry. Again, I'm mostly a card ministry. I make cards for the most part just to give them away and to spread a little joy and cheer. I call it spreading joy, love, and cheer. All right, and so I think I showed, we were working on some stuff last time and we didn't get to the card that I had done this twisted ribbon technique. And I think I was going to show y'all the twisted ribbon technique and bring out kind of a little surprise with that card. So we will work on that today. Y'all, this is May 2nd. The new catalog went live today, and that means I can actually open it in front of you. So this card had used one of the new in colors, this mauve. Moody Mauve is what it's called. And it also used one of a portion of one of the suites. So if you open up a catalog here and you get here at the very front, after you get through this title page here, it tells you all the different suite products. And so the suites are a stamp and die bundle along with some other things that they've picked out for you that coordinate, like paper or some kind of embellishments or ribbons, or even an embossing folder, and paper, really the paper. So the paper that I used here came from this very last one, Fresh as a Daisy. It's on page 110 and 111. So I'm going to scoot back to 110 and 111 right here and see if I can spread this across, and hopefully we can see everything. So this is Fresh as a Daisy suite. And so this just shows you like some examples of the things that have been done with this suite. The number to order the entire suite is order number 161301, and the entire suite is $73.50. It comes with a pack of designer series paper, and one of those papers is this with the mauve that I used the mauve daisy from. And then the back side here also is on a page. Comes with this beautiful stamp set for all these gorgeous daisies and a nice little set of dies. I haven't ordered this yet. I just ordered the paper. Last year I ordered I ordered too much and I couldn't use it all. And so I was going to kind of wait and get an idea on some of the bundles before I ordered too many to see what I liked. I love punches, and I always try to get something with a punch, unless I just don't like it. But most of the punches I really do love. I did get these dots, and I've used them some as well. So all of these items, the paper, the stamp set, the die set, and the dots, all come in one bundled price of $73.50. You're getting the stamp set and the dies together at a bundled price of 10% off. Now, if you don't want the paper, you don't want the dots, and you just want the bundle with the stamp set and the dies, you can still get those for 10% off. So I just want to make y'all aware of that. That's one of the suites. I'm featuring right now, I'm working on this one called The Little Monkey. And the little monkey comes with a punch. And you can punch out this little guy right here when you stamp him. So there's 3 monkeys. This is the one you can punch, the one with the legs coming straight down. The legs that are curved to the side, you can't punch him. You can't punch this one out. You can fussy cut them, which I have done today, actually, and I'm going to show you a card. There's also a little banana that you can punch, so you can punch this banana out. And there's also a way, if you don't want to stamp it all really, you can use this part as a face and like cut it in a lighter, punch it in a lighter color. And these are for the insides of the ears. And then you could punch him out, you know, in a darker color. And you could just have your monkey punched and not stamp him at all. So that's also an option. I haven't done that yet. I have seen another demonstrator use that technique, and it's pretty neat. So I might use that later on in the week. So I am featuring this little monkey bundle right now. So the cards I'm going to show you tonight are using this bundle, and then I'm going to incorporate into one of my cards this twisted ribbon technique. So I wanted to show y'all that. Something else, let me find something else that I placed. So I placed my order this morning. I didn't have any trouble placing my order. Let me show you some of the ones I'm going to be getting pretty soon. This first one that I ordered, and it's just a stamp set, but I've kind of gotten where I like just working with stamp sets. I'm finding new ways I can use them and things I can do with them. But the first one is this one called Friendship Royalty. It is on page 56. The SKU number for it is 161407. And it's for all the queens and princesses in your life, or wannabe queens and princesses in your life. And then again, you can find things outside the box to do with this as well. This set was designed by a $1 million sales achiever, which I've been told it's like less than 1% of the Stampin' Up! People get it. So I thought I better throw that in there too, even though I'm not one. But my upline, Miss Kelly Atchison, is a Stampin' Up! $1 Million Retriever. And this was the set that she helped design. And it's her turn to have it in a catalog. So I hope you all will go support her and buy this set. So I'll be getting this one soon and be doing some things with it. I don't know if I'll have it in time for anything next week. I may have. My next one was on page 72 that I ordered, my next set. I'm just going to show you some of the sets. I'm not going to show you all the paper and stuff I ordered. I mostly ordered ink and paper. Mostly. This set right here, Courage and Faith. It's got some nice embellishment looking type designs that could be colored in or painted in or just left like they are. Then I've got some little dottage right here of some sort, and then another one right here. And y'all, there's 4 Bible verses. 4 Bible verses. I think that this is one I have on a t-shirt, actually. I've worn it a couple times doing my lives. Be of good courage. Psalm 27:14. I can't read well, so I hope I'm getting the verses right. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5. In everything give thanks. 1 Thessalonians 5:18. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. And that's from Numbers 6:24. I've looked at Numbers some. It's not an easy chapter in the Bible to read, but that's one of the best verses. So it's kind of crazy that it's actually in Numbers. But there you go. So that's the second one that was on my list, on my wish list. So I'm hoping I can maybe get that to do some stuff with it by the weekend. And let me just say, I had to pay extra to get my order here fast, because otherwise I'd be waiting probably for 2 weeks. My order that I ordered on free shipping day, which was April the 19th, it was shipped yesterday. So it'll probably not get here until next Tuesday or Wednesday. It usually takes from the other side of the country to get here at least a week. So I think I'm going to be waiting till next Tuesday or Wednesday. So, but that's okay. The last one that I had at the top of, oh, I'm going to have to show you two. The next one, page 83. Oh, I can't wait to work on this one. Oh, page 83. Y'all, look at it. Sweet and precious. And let me tell you, that is just sweet and precious. So I live in upstate South Carolina, and we have the Greenville Zoo here, and they've had many, many baby giraffes. It's just been awesome, and I love to go see the giraffes and the baby giraffe. And that's just so typical of a picture that you see when you go visit the giraffes at our zoo. It's great. And then, y'all, aren't they just precious? The sloth. All of these. I'm here for you. I'm always here for you. I believe in you. Bring on the cuddles. Appreciating all you do. So this is just a great set. Sending encouragement or sending thanks. And love. Bringing on the cuddles. So there's at least 3 themes that I can come up with to use for that set right there. It's just gorgeous. And so last year I had gotten a couple more of wildlife type sweets, and I love using those. So they're like way up there on the top of my list of favorites. Okay, so the next one I got, page 48, and this is the last one I'm going to show you that I've ordered, and I just think it looks like fun. Kind of like the turtles. Yeah, I like the fun stuff, and then I like the lifelike animals a lot. I like the fun ones too, though. Like this one, Bird's Eye View. I don't know why, but that just came out to me and said by me. I just think that little bird's adorable. And I know it's not a real bird, but just think of the things you can do with a bird that's not real. You can have so much fun with it. You know, you can make it any color you want to. And I love the big old glasses that you can put on it. It's just hilarious. And then there's a little tiny balloon for the little tiny bird. And we even have a branch for the bird to sit on. And you got the smart bird that breeds. Well, that's why we have glasses, I guess. But if you look at this one, I mean, just look at all those cute colors and things that they did with those little birds right there. Just really sweet. And they put the big glasses on that one. So I'm looking forward to having this set as well. This one's on my wish list, but I haven't ordered it yet. So anyway, we're going to get started with my little monkey card with the twisted ribbon technique. But before we start on that, I'm going to show you a couple other monkey cards that I've been doing. And I think, trying to remember, I believe I mentioned that I was going to do one of my card kit items was going to be the Playing in the Rain characters. I still have a lot of the paper left, so I can punch out characters and send them to you for a card. So that will be one of my card, in my free card kit. I'm going to do 2 different cards, and you can do 2 cards, or there'll be a total of 4 cards, and then the 2 cards will be similar. So like you'll do the Playing in the Rain. Both of those cards might not be exactly alike, but they'll be very similar, like the same layout, but you might have the fox on one and the rabbit on another. So other than that, they would be similar. And then I think the other 2 cards I'm going to do are going to be with the monkey. I love it. So here's one of the cards I did with the monkey. Now, I made my own designer paper. That's on a whole nother video. I did a Facebook Live last night. Realized halfway through making my paper, I should video how I make my paper. So I did. I put it on... I did a Facebook Live last night, and if I can ever figure out how to get it onto YouTube, I'll put it on here too. But I had a lot of fun making my own paper. I wasn't going to have enough paper to make a whole lot of these little guys with, you know, and I really liked the paper that I used. You'll see it on my twisted ribbon, that I used on that one, but I just don't have a lot of this paper. And I wanted to use it with other things. So I just decided to make my own designer series paper. And that's what I've done here. And that's what we're going to have on the card we use tonight. We're going to use the designer series paper I made. And so there he is holding a little banana. And here's the inside. I kind of went overboard with the inside. I started stamping. I'm like, wait a minute, I shouldn't be stamping this many because it took up an awful lot of space. But if you don't want to write a whole lot, it's perfect. But so this was one of the other monkeys in the set. Of course, I had to fussy cut her out. If I had thought about it, I could have stamped her in there. I'm calling her a her because I fancied up her eyes. But if I had stamped her before, I put too much greenery there. But then I had so much greenery, I did her separately and cut her out, fussy cut her out, and laid her on top. But I think it turned out really cute. And I've got enough paper to do another card with some of my handmade designer series paper that I have left over. The card I just finished a little while ago. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did I set it down? Oh, here it is. Okay. So y'all, here's the one I just finished. And I haven't made an envelope for it yet. I don't guess I made an envelope for that one either. But I had a lot of fun. So this has got the new monkey. It's got a new little monkey set. But I incorporated with something that has retired. However, you can still get this something. At least you could this morning when I went and looked. So here is monkey card number 2. I used all 3 monkeys that were in the set. The one you punch out, that's this one here. I don't lay that there. I get that glare. So this is the one you punch out. There's the one hanging. And then this is the third one. Now you can't see the legs. As a matter of fact, because I put my dimensionals too high, I actually had to cut him off a little bit to get him to fit in there and not hang off the top of my card. But this is the teacup die set and paper. Now, I don't remember if there was any paper left this morning, but I know the die cut set was still available this morning. And y'all, I don't need a stamp to stamp out these, to punch out these teacups. Just saying. You can punch these teacups out without a stamp, and they still look like little teacups. This note card was on clearance also. I didn't notice if there were any of those available. I should have checked that. But there was a whole set of envelopes. I think it was a set of 20 envelopes of all the in colors from last year's in colors that are still being used this year. A total of 20 cards and envelopes, and they were on sale for $4.20. I mean, that was just a bargain. And then the paper was on sale too. And again, I apologize. I should have checked on the availability, but I do know the stamps, the die cuts were available. So there were a couple of things in that die set that you could use independently without a stamp. So if you really like the teacup cutout, go for it. Get it. You can make a lot of cards with it. And you can use any color. It doesn't have to be that paper that came with that set last year. So you can use any paper. But I'm just trying to use up some of my old stuff. And I just had in my head monkeys playing in the kitchen, teetering on the china, making it look like it's going to break and stuff. So I just thought that was cute. And then I just put some little teacups on the inside. So this could be a birthday card or just a cheering up kind of a card. Hello, you are all kinds of wonderful. So if I decided to make a birthday, I could just stamp a happy birthday in there, right there also. Anyway, fun to do these little monkeys. So our card of the day is a monkey card with the twisted ribbon technique. And this is the original one that I did. Using some paper from that Daisy set. Again, it doesn't take a lot, but I had other things I was planning on using that paper with, and so I didn't want to use it all, so I made my own. But anyway, this is the same idea and layout that we're going to use. We're just going to switch it out with some different papers and such. And then there's the inside of that one. I made the little vines with the monkey hanging on the vine and eating the banana. And this is one of those birthdays where when you're late sending the card, like I am almost all the time. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. And I think that's just it. In my mind, my birthday's in October, and it lasts. I celebrate my birthday all month and maybe more. You get to a certain age and you just enjoy it. Enjoy it for what it's worth and while you have it, you know. But anyway, so we're going to work on our twisted ribbon technique with the monkeys. And so I've got the materials here that we're going to need to make that, in addition to the die set, not the die, in addition to the stamp set and the punch. You will need a piece of cardstock. I'm using Garden Green, 8.5 by 11, cut in half at 5.5, and scored in the middle at 4.25. You could use another color. You could use one of these new colors. It's called, what's it called? I pulled it out actually to do this card. Pebbled Path. It's the gray one. You could use that color for your card and still use the same color palette that I'm using. That could be your card base. You could use this Crushed Curry for your card base, which is what I used in this other card that I showed y'all. Still basically the same color palette, but I used the Crushed Curry for my card base. Garden Green, Crushed Curry, Pebbled Path. That's the Pebbled Path. There's the Garden Green. You could use this Wild Wheat too. It's a new color, and that would work as your base as well. There is some Wild Wheat in my paper that I made. So, but these three would probably be the best. But again, and then you could change up your colors and do stuff totally different as well. So, in addition to your piece of cardstock, you're going to need a strip of white. And actually, I have a strip right here that I hadn't done anything with. A strip of white. It's 2 inches. And it needs to be just a little bit over 5.5, because it's going to go here, but you're going to score it. And so when you're scoring it, it might shrink it down a little bit. So make it just a little bit bigger. It looks like I made it about a extra 1/16 of an inch longer. You don't need to make it any wider, but longer. And then this is going to be scored at 1/2 inch all the way down. And let's see, I'm supposed to have 3 circles. I've got 2 circles. I need to get a third one. So these are the new circle punches. And of course, if you don't have circle punches, you can use another shape. You can use a glass or a cup and trace them and cut them out. That's what I used to do before I got circle punches and circle dies and stuff. And then there's also that wavy circle punch you could use. So I have a, this is the biggest one, I believe. Yeah. So this is the one that was 2 3/8. These might be on back order. I can't remember which ones are on back order and which ones are actually in the catalog. There's one in the catalog, and there's 2 that are on the online store, but I think they're on back order. But there's a 2 3/8 inch, a 2 inch, and a 1 3/4. I believe this is my 1 this is my 1 3/4. So I need another 1 3/4 out of my Cajun Craze, not Cajun Craze. What did I say it was called? I don't know why I do that. Crushed Curry. It's because it's the C's. They both have C's. Crushed Curry. I need another one of the 1 3/4 inch punches for that. And y'all, I got lucky because I ordered that. Well, I missed the first order. And I was looking every day for them to come back into stock again. And as soon as they came back in stock, I went and bought them. I really had not planned on placing another order that month, but I did because I wanted those punches, because I I love punches. A lot. So now on this yellow one, I'm going to do it a little differently than I did this card, because I actually just cut out a piece of the designer series paper right there and put it on, glued it onto the card. Also, this daisy punch is expired, or it's retired rather. It's been retired. So, I mean, I could use that daisy punch again, or I could just decorate it some other way. There are some other flower punches. There's some heart punches, flower punches. I don't want to take away from my monkey, though, so I don't want to make it like another character. I would want it to be a shape. Okay, I don't want it to be a bottle. I don't want it to be a bird or a ladybug or anything like that, or a rabbit. It needs to be just like a flower or a shape of some sort to go on here. So I'm looking at that Petal Park. Oh, you know what? I think I left that punch. I did. I left that punch on my dining room table because I was punching stuff out the other day with it. Well, I might go get it in a minute. We'll see. But what I will do, because I'm not going to be covering it completely, I know. And because I'm using different paper, this paper actually did have some of this new, I believe it's called Lemon Lolly. I don't really have any Lemon Lolly in my designer paper. This is a Lemon Lolly circle, but I sponged it a little bit with my blending brush right here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the edges of it with this and sponge it a little bit, and then I might punch up a couple of those other flowers on it. It just depends on how they look. I just don't know if I'm going to like them or not. So, okay. Let me see if I have a, oh, I think it's up here. Excuse me. Get my arm in the way, because I want to use that sponge dauber that's that crushed curry color also. Let me grab that out. Move these ink pads for a minute. Get my crushed curry over here. And a scrap piece of paper. You can see where I've been all over this thing stamping it. All right, so to start with, and technically I could do this with all of my circles, and I think I will. To go around the edges of your circle, just to darken them up a little bit. And I think I'll actually do that to the other ones as well. So these are the big pieces that we needed. And then we're going to be talking about the smaller pieces that we need to actually decorate the card with. I'm going to go ahead and do it around these also. Let a little of it go into the circle a little bit. Most of these will be covered, but sometimes that little extra bit of color in there is pretty cool. All right, so in addition to this strip, this 2-inch by a little over 5.5-inch strip, you're going to need your strips that go on the inside, that go on here to make our twisted ribbon. And I made these, you make these about 2 3/4 inch wide, and between 2 3/4 and 3 inches. And then you're going to cut each one at 1/2 of an inch. So I do 6 or 7 of your designer paper, and do 6 or 7 of a plain color paper. Okay, 1/2 inch strips between 2 3/4 and 3 inches in length. All right, now let's pull this back over here while I've got add the color to this. Now I could have just cut out another one like that, but there's still going to be a color difference, and I want there to be a color difference. I don't want them all the same. See, it's just because I could put 3 of the same color, but yeah, no. So there we go. That's good for that. So we'll put this aside, and I don't think I'm going to need that anymore, so I'm going to put it up too. I need to go put some of my other ones away. They're just laying all over my desk here. All right, now let's go ahead. So I already stamped one of the little guys that we punch out. He's going on the front. We're going to need our inside ones, but we'll do them in a little bit. I want to go ahead. Do I already have one? No, I was thinking I already had one finished that I had punched out, but I don't guess I do. So I want to make sure I finish the outside of the card tonight. So I'm not gonna do this right now, okay? But I am gonna go ahead and color my little guy here. These are the alcohol-based markers. They do bleed, so you might want to put something under. All right, the colors I used, and actually, so that one card I did the 3 monkeys on, the 3 different colors, okay? This is the one I used on my jungle card. It's using these skin tone shades. So this card, I used the SU for Stampin' Up 300 and Stampin' Up 500. So the 300's darker than the 500. The 500's got maybe a little bit more of a red hue. So I'll show you what they look like. So here's the dark one. That's the SU 300. And this is the SU 500. So those are what I used on this one. On this one, I used crumb cake, light and dark crumb cake. So that one would work as well for the jungle picture. I mean, and you could even do your monkey yellow if you wanted to. He's a cute little cartoon monkey. Do him whatever color you want him to be. But I'm making mine more jungly looking, so I'm kind of sticking with those colors. So that one there, he was done with smoky slate, the light and the dark smoky slate. Those were the main colors I used on him. I thought he turned out really cute too. So on the face, for all 3 of them, there's a set. They're not in with the other Stampin' Blends, but there's a bronze and an ivory. So this is the bronze and ivory set. So I used the ivory on the face of all 3 monkeys. Okay. And then for some of the extras, to accent the eyes a little bit, I used a black Stampin' Right marker. I used the very fine tip one. I used my red fine tip from Poppy Parade because it's the only fine tip red I have. Although that Moody Mauve might work as well. And then for the cheeks and the ears, I've used light Calypso Coral. So those are all the ink colors I used on coloring on these 3 monkeys. We're going to do this one. Again, it's the SU 300. That's crumb cake. I'm not using the crumb cakes. That's ivory. That must be my other crumb cake. Yeah, I'm going to move them out of my way so I don't use them by mistake. So I'm going to start with my SU 300. And I kind of go around the edges of, and I'm going to go just barely touch down with this pointy end of the, what do you call the tip? Brush edge tip. Sorry, sometimes my words go. So I don't want to push down and make it so thick. If I go it lighter, it's a little bit more thin, especially in these spots like around his ears. I'm having a little bit of trouble seeing, y'all. I'll do the best I can. Whew, I thought I went outside the line there for a minute because I'll get some double vision going on here. It's not easy. I've got my first cataract surgery scheduled for the end of May. And then you're supposed to go and have the second eye done 2 weeks later. So I've scheduled the second eye to be done 2 weeks later. And let me just say, it is not inexpensive. Yes, insurance covers it, sort of. You know, laser eye surgeries came around, what, 20 years ago, at least. Laser surgery's been around for a while. At first they were doing it, you know, on the eyes, they were doing it to do that, what they call that LASIK, which goes in and corrects your vision if you're nearsighted or whatever. And, you know, at one time that was very costly and insurance companies weren't paying for it. Now insurance companies are paying a little bit of that. But the crazy thing is, for cataracts, they want the doctors to do it the old-fashioned way, which is with a blade. Now, I don't know about you, but I feel like, well, all surgeries have risk, right? Because there's anesthesia. There's anesthesia. All surgeries have risk that something might go wrong. And, you know, you just pray and you hope that they don't, that it's going to be a good outcome. But I feel like that the laser surgery is probably less risky than the surgery that uses the blade. I could be wrong, but that seems like it makes sense to me, that the laser surgery, not using a cutting blade on your eye, it's just me, but I feel like that sounds safer. But the insurance companies won't pay for it that way. They want to pay for it the old-fashioned way with the blade. But I don't even know if there's any doctors still doing it that way. Checked around here where I live, and they're all doing laser. Therefore, the insurance company only pays a small portion of the fee, because they'll only pay up to what they would have paid for the old-fashioned way to do it. They also will only pay for the old-fashioned lens options, and there's better lens options today too. I've had to wear glasses since I was in the 1st grade. Honestly, I don't think I see well. I think I've missed so much out there in the world because my eyesight's so bad. And it's getting worse. And it has. And in the past year, it's really gotten bad. And I'd like to see. And once you get these cataracts removed and a new lens put in, that's it. You're done. You will not need another lens. And you're not going to get another lens unless you got a whole lot of money. More than what I'm going to have to pay to get it done now. But again, I want to be able to see. So I'm having to fork out some money. A good bit of money. So I can see. And really be able to see for once in my life. It's it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to actually see. And I want to be able to see. So, again, all surgeries have risk. There's no guarantees. But if I don't have the cataract surgery done in the first place, you will go blind. At some point, you will not be able to see. Number 2, and that's not an option. If I get it done with the old way and the old lens, it will help my distance vision some. He said you probably still wouldn't be able to sit on the other side of the room and watch a TV show and see the details. Huh? No. Really? Yeah. I miss a lot by not being able to see y'all. Even with my glasses on, I can't see the TV across the room. I miss a lot. And if you do it the old-fashioned way, not only will it really not help my distance vision that much, it's also going to make me have to wear prescription glasses for close-up work, because I will definitely not be able to see close-up work anymore. See, because I'm already having trouble with that now. I used to never have a problem. I just took off my glasses and I could see to do close-up stuff. That's what I've been doing for most of my life. I put them on to see in the distance. I take them off to do the stuff up close. It's just, you know, it's a way of life for me. And then I'm going to have to put them on to do the close stuff more than I do now. Well, see, and the thing is, I can't get, well, and this is the other problem. I haven't been able to get readers that work for me. And my doctor told me this. He said, we can't get readers to work for you because your astigmatism is so bad. So astigmatism has to do with the shape of your cornea. Well, unless they fix the shape of my cornea, I'm still not going to be see up close. Probably the readers won't work. And that's not an option either. I need to be able to see up close because that's my job. I work in the environment I work in. I need to be able to see up close. If we only do the old-fashioned lenses, you know, I might not be able to see up close to do my job. You would think they'd want me to be able to do my job so I could keep working. Anyway, so I pay money, and that way I can get my cornea repaired, get the astigmatism fixed, get the lens that I can see long distance and still see the bird on the tree in the distance and see the TV across the room with the details, not just the shadows. And I can probably see to do most of my close work. Maybe not the teeny flowers that I try to color sometimes, but this I'd be able to see pretty good. Like, and not laying up on top of it like I'm doing right now. Like right now I'm like within like 6 to 8 inches. I should probably be out more like a foot. I can't see that far away right now, but I will be able to with these better lenses that they're talking about using. And I guess, you know, how do you determine what the price tag is for something like that, you know? A lot. It's just a lot, just trust me. A lot is the price tag. But I'm still got a lot of years left, and I would rather enjoy life. It was the same thing with my knees. I'm like, can we just, I don't know why they made me wait so many years to do my knees. My knees were in horrible shape for years before they would finally do my knee replacements. And they're like, well, we want them to last. I'm like, well, I'm living now. I might not be living then. But anyway, did finally get my knees taken care of, and it's so much better that I can walk and not be in pain. It's so much better to be able to walk and not be in pain. But anyway, we're just, you know, trying to enjoy life, you know, and I'm like, I'll put it off. I mean, if you wait around too long, I might not be around anymore for you to fix my knees or to fix my eyes or, you know, whatever. Although the eye thing, I really wasn't expecting it. I knew my eyes were getting worse, but I didn't really know it was the cataracts because he didn't say that much about it last year. But apparently they've progressed pretty quickly from last year to not so bad to, yeah, they're pretty bad. So, and I think I have that lined up okay. I hope I do, because I wouldn't want to have to go trim it. And I am going to have to trim it a little bit. I don't have to, but I feel like there's too much right there. That I had him over kind of that way too much. That's okay. I can fix it. All right, so what else do I need here to do my card? Oh, yeah. So the other thing that I used on my card or these leaves. Y'all remember these leaves? I've used these a bunch. They're from Tropical Leaf. Again, it's a punch. Yay, punches. Yay for punches. So, I have, actually, I already did one, and I'll tell you how I did them. So I got that one, and I also have a small one cut out here, but I think, no, I didn't use it on that card. I'm thinking that maybe I was planning on putting it on that, and that might have been why I did the small one. So I did use this in my homemade designer series paper. Here's a pretty big piece of it that you can see. So I used this smaller one of these. I used these same colors to do my designer paper. I can move them now because I'm through coloring these guys. So the colors that I used in this are, for the leaf, I started off putting my leaf in, and this is for both of these, in the crushed curry, but I stamped it off, as you can see here. Stamped it off, and then don't stamp it on your page yet. You're going to get your little sponge daubers over here. You're going to use the one in the garden green, and you're going to use a tiny, tiny bit in wild wheat, the new color, and stamp around the edges and a little bit on your, just dab your stamp a little bit and go around the edges. I could do one of those real quick. I don't want to go too long though. Let me get, because I have this, since I already have the stamp out, we'll do it real quick, and so I can show you. So, crushed curry, stamp off. Let me get a scrap piece of paper over here. Okay, then we're going to take garden green, which I think this one is. Yeah, garden green. Get a little bit on my sponge dauber here for some garden green. And you might want to just see how much you got, because you don't want to make it too dark. I think I have this up where you can see it, but I'm going to just come in a couple of spots and do that. You know, like, so right here I might have did it a little darker in there, and then the other spots were kind of light. And then with the wild wheat, same thing, and it's very dark because the stamp is very new and it has a lot of stuff on it. So I'm going to try not to get it, because I still want some of the gold to show through too, right? And you know what? I just put that in gold instead of wild wheat. There's that. The gold is much lighter than the wild wheat, so I'm going to rub that off right there and try again. I think I would have noticed that, but I didn't. At least I noticed it before I was finished. Now that is a photopolymer stamp, so I should probably bring in my stamp pad. I'm going to move those over there. Close these up so we don't have an ink accident. And a little mat right here. Scrap piece of paper. So, and then, because it's been sitting here for a couple minutes, I'm going to huff on it, huff my breath on it, to make sure that it's got plenty of moisture to do a nice stamp. So, and I'm going to just stamp this one kind of right here in the middle, since I only have the one that I'm playing with right now. Oh, that turned out really pretty. The other thing you do is you get the outline, the little detail stamp for the veins in the leaf, and I just used the garden green for that. But again, you could do anything you wanted to. Y'all have seen I've done pink leaves. If you've been watching any of my stuff at all, you'll know I did a bunch of pink leaves and blue leaves on top of the green leaves. So, all right, so those three colors I used. I also have used Old Olive, Granny Apple Green, and the Pebbled Path. So some of the things that I used on here, and I've got them out, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. I don't remember which things I did which color. I believe this one, I think I used Old Olive with this little stamp. So let's see. I'll wipe it off a little bit. Again, I don't remember for sure. Oh, and I had another leaf that I pulled out of something too, a bigger one, for my paper, because I was using a bigger piece of paper than what I'm using right here. So I had a leaf that I got out of the Lighting the Way. I used this one right here, and I used the Evening Evergreen stamp, not Evening Evergreen. I used the Garden Green, but I stamped it off so it wouldn't be quite so dark. So that one is in there. There's one of it right there, and I don't, yeah, there's one there. There's a piece of one there. So anyway, the Old Olive, though, I think I just put it on there like it was. I didn't worry about stamping it off, partly because, you know, it's not filled in. You're going to have to go back and color it in somehow. Might come back and do a couple of those. Then we also had this one, and I'm pretty sure I used Granny Apple Green with that one. Yeah, and I colored that one in. So it took a little time to do because I colored them in with the blender pen. I'll show you what I mean here, how I did that. Just turn it a little bit so it's not always going the same direction. I like to switch them out some. Put that one right there. Put another one down in this corner. And then I had these little ones. I think I went back with my Garden Green and did those full strength in Garden Green. And on those, I didn't color in every leaf. So like right there, I did not color that one in, but I did color that one in. So that one kind of went both ways. So I'm going to do a few of them going this way. And then I have the one that kind of goes the other direction. Might as well use it too. And yeah, since this is a smaller piece of paper, there was really not any point in my trying to use that larger stamp. That would not really have worked well. I think I'm going to get some more of this one. Is that green? Which one's Old Olive and which one's Granny? This one's Old Olive. So I can put another one of those there. And put a bit of one of those right here. And you know what? I love doing this right here. And I used the wrong color on that one. Oh well, it'll be okay. I love doing this. I think it's very relaxing to do this and to color them in. And it's really kind of, sometimes if you don't know what else you want to do, just get you out an assortment of greenery or flowers and pick 3 or 4 colors and then just have at it and go at your paper and see what you come up with. You might be surprised what you come up with. Like I said, I really enjoy doing this. So then I took a blender pen, one of my old ones, because it doesn't really have any blender stuff left in it anymore. I'm going to start with the lightest color, which is the Granny Apple. I think that this one was the Granny Apple. And I'll just touch it in just a little bit and then start trying to spread that color a little bit. So this is how you do this. If you buy a new blender pen, you got a new blender pen, stamp 2 or 3 of them, and then you don't have to dip your blender pen in the ink. You just use it along the ink that you just put on there, and it'll carry that ink for you. But like I said, mine are my blender pens. These are old ones that I'm using, so I just dip them in my ink. And it's kind of like doing a watercolor without watercolors. So this is how you do your homemade designer series paper. The only thing is, this is being done on cardstock, so it's, you know, it's a little thick, but it's not like I'm using a whole sheet of it on my card. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and skip and do my old olive ones. Going to skip over and do those because I don't want to do this whole thing. But this will be, I won't throw this away. This will get used on a card. At least one. Okay, old olive. So what I usually do is, when I first dip my ink into my pen into the ink over there, while it's darker, I'll go ahead and like partially brush in some of the leaves. And then I'll go back and spread it out a little bit. That's way it's not getting too dark in any one spot. And it's just the way I do it. You know, when you start playing with something like this, you kind of come up with your own thing. I started doing this about a year ago with just the, you know, with the regular blender pen and just pulling the ink. And at some point, like I said, these kind of got where the liquid that comes in them was dried out and wasn't working anymore. So I just said, well, I'll just dip them in my ink and do it. And, you know, I like the way it looks too, so I just kept doing it like this. And I did order some new blender pens to do that effect, especially for some other projects I got coming up. So there's 2. Oh, let me do that one because it's supposed to be old olive. Do this one too. Okay, there we go. And then we'll do, since the garden green's the darkest, I saved it till last. That way I don't have to try so hard. You know, to clean off these pens, you just do them over and over in that. You kind of wipe them off, and when they're new, you want to try to keep them clean. But after a while, when it didn't have the ink in it anymore, there wasn't any point in trying to keep it clean. So I just used the same colors with the same ones. So I'm not going to color all of these. I'm just going to color. And again, you can color them all if you want to, but you certainly don't have to. And if I happen to overlap things, which I didn't so much on this card because I didn't put them so close together, I didn't have that other big stamp, but you do the smallest pieces last, and usually if they overlap some, they're so small they're not going to be noticeable. But in this case, my small ones were my darker ones, so if I did overlap, I would just let this overlap. I let the dark color be the one that's going over the light color. It was just easier that way because they would cover up the lighter colors. And I'll do this one. I'm going to just get some more ink off of my brush by coming over here. So this is kind of how you do your own designer series paper. The other thing that I added to it was some dots. A lot of the stamp sets have dots, just little smudgies or dots. And I took those out of, again, I think it was off of that. Yeah. So they were more like little firefly dots, but I used them. I used the Pebbled Path ink, that new kind of gray color, which now I don't know what I did with it. It should be right here. Oh, there it is. But I had to stamp it off a few times so it wouldn't be so dark. And then I stamped it all the way around. And then the last thing I did, because I wanted some more of the golden yellow, was I took my my marker, my yellow marker, and I flicked the ink on it, just like dribbles of ink on it. I think I did that one time with y'all. I can't remember. Anyway, so that's how you do your own personalized designer series paper, or DSP. All right, let's get to doing now, since we know how we got our DSP. We've got our monkey ready to go. We need some leaves. See the little leaves? We have our big leaf. And what I used to do these, I used a garden green. I punched the garden green with a ladybug. You just punch out some little ladybug wings right here. Do one more. I don't know how many I'll need. And what I did, way I did mine was you can cut them apart, you can leave them together. So I did a little of both. So on this card I ended up cutting them all apart. But on this other card that I did, these two are still together, but I did cut these other ones apart. Those are all, just these two are together. The rest of them have been cut apart. So, oh, I just got a headache. So the way you do this, you can use either a, I don't know why my brain can't function, silicone mat, or you can use your sponge mat, either one as a base. I've done it with both. And you want to use your stylus tool, the one that does your embossing, or does your score lines, okay? So it's your scoring tool. And so I'm just going to take it up the leaf like that. I'll do it on both sides. And then I'll put the other little, you know, the little veins in my leaves. I meant to take them all that direction. I kind of messed that up. And you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just do it. There and there. And one more. Sorry, pick it up. Go there and there. And I hope I'm staying on camera. For a while I was getting up and checking to make sure I was on the camera. Well, maybe I should do that. Yeah, I'm still there. All right, we're getting long though. I need to get this finished. So that took care of those, except for, get my scrap paper again. And you don't have to do this. I did do it sometimes. I don't always do it, but I want to give you the option. So I want to show it to you. I'm going to use the darker green ink. And you can even go darker than this if you wanted to use like Mossy Meadow or something. Or if you have one of the older green, the Evening Evergreen, that older green. You can sponge the ends like this by just doing the edges like we did with those circles. You could just maybe go on the tip of the leaf a little bit. And see, I didn't add any more ink to this. So it may or may not be showing up so good because I didn't add any more ink to my sponge dauber. But I think it's showing a little bit. Push down a little harder. And you can also kind of fold it up a little bit on that crease line, especially that one going up through the middle. if you want to give it some depth or some dimension. Like, you fold it kind of like that. And like I said, and then depending on how you do your layout, you might end up having to take your leaves apart. And it kind of, like I said, it just depends on what you do with them and how you end up laying them out. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that so it's done for all of them. Okay, so I think other than a sentiment, I think we have everything ready and we need to do except for our twisted ribbon. So we've got to do our paper, our little strip. We've got to put the score it at every 1/2 inch. And I meant to do this ahead of time, and I did. And so, all right, gotta find my scoring tool. Y'all, don't let me cut instead of score. I did it last night. I cut instead of scored. All right, 1/2 inch. Another 1/2 inch. I'm gonna turn it this way now. So so now we're at 1.5. Score, and we're at 2. Score, 2.5. Score, 3. Score, 3.5. Score, 4. Score, 4.5. Score, 5. Score, 5.5. Score. That'll be your last one, and then you'll have a little leftover piece. We're going to put that at the bottom. Okay, that one at the bottom. And I'm going to use my silicone mat because we're going to be gluing, and there's going to be glue everywhere, and we'd rather it not stick to anything, and it won't stick on our silicone mat, but it will stick on our paper. So we're going to do it like that. And we're going to start with the solid strips. All right, and so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 small rectangles, okay? Then if you count every 2, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 bigger rectangles. And you could count, you know, and I'm just bending them a little bit here to help you see as I'm laying these down. I think the folds will help you see it a little bit better. It might have been good to do this in a different color paper. Didn't even think about that. But I'm going to ignore the top one for now. Just I stuck that one at the bottom, but I'm going to ignore this one. So I'm going to work with block 2 and 3, and then I'm going to work with 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10 and 11. So we're going to work with 2, okay? And I'm going to take one strip, and it's going to be up to that line on this side and stop at the second rectangle on this side, okay? You need to come down to the next 2 blocks. So that was 2, 3. This is 4 and 5. Block 4 and block 4. Block 4 and block 5. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to put it to the bottom of that one and to that one. So what it's going to do, it's going to leave a space for another rectangle, for another one of the strips to go through, if you were going to do it that way. So you can tell you're doing it right if it looks like you could lay another strip in there, okay? So you're doing every 2. So now we're going to go on the next 2, and we would glue it here and here, and then here and here. I'll slide this whole thing up a little bit. Hopefully it stays in place, okay? So that's how we're going to do it. You've got room in there in between, it looks like you've got room for another rectangle. So what I usually do is go ahead and lay out a few first to make sure it looks like I'm doing it right. Looks like I'm doing it right, so I'm going to start gluing them down. And I'm just turning it so I can keep it in the camera. And y'all still see what I'm doing. Again, you won't have to take the glue out all the way to the edges, but if you do, if you're using a silicone mat, it won't matter. I think you could do, if you don't have a silicone mat, I think you could maybe use wax paper, use the waxy side. That might also work. You might want to experiment with that a little bit, though, before you start putting a lot of time into a technique like this. Just, you know, start gluing some stuff and seeing how bad it sticks. So that was those two rectangles. Now I'm going to do these two rectangles. And see, the reason why you cut this a little longer, these strips have to be a little bit longer than the 2 inches so that you can have some overlay, because we'll go back and cut that off. So now we're going to work on these two, this next two. I'm going to lay our strip across those two. I'll lay our strip across these two. Okay, going to go again. It's sticking a little bit, but I can still pick it up. And it doesn't matter if the paper's stuck on that side, because that's not going to show. So it doesn't matter. All right, coming along here. Got the next two. There we go. Now I'm going to move back up to the top. Okay. I need to do another one, even though it won't go all the way. So you could like kind of pretend like there's another little rectangle up here, and it would go like this. So all we're really we're only covering up. Let's see if I can show you with the pen. We're only going to be actually covering this little spot right here. Okay, because that's going to be, it's going to be going like that. All right, I'm going to turn it back this way though, so I can get to it and see it better. So I'll go ahead and put glue on my paper here. And so we're going to use that one and to there. You kind of probably want to hold that down for a second, because when I picked it up to move it earlier, because it pulled off a little bit off of the mat, because the cardstock tends to stick a little bit more than regular paper, but it'll wash right off. I don't want it to move my piece. Okay, there we go. Now we can get started with our designer paper. And we're going to kind of do the opposite this time. Instead of working on rectangle 2 and 3, we're going to work on 1 and 2. Okay, and we're going to kind of do it backwards to what we just did. So it's going to go on that one, and then to that one. Again, we can do a few to make sure it looks right. So that was 1 and 2. Now I need 3 and 4. 4 and 3. Okay. 5 and 6. There and there. Okay, and then that one looks too thin. 7 and 8. So we're going to go like that. I think that one's moved on me up there a little bit. So I'm going to turn it again so I can see to do this side. And we'll start gluing these down. So doing 1 and 2. So that's 2. And then the top of 1 is like right there. I might not have it down quite low enough. Take it down just a little bit there. Okay, that one's hard to see where it's supposed to go because you're off the page. Okay. And so that was 1 and 2. Now I've got 3 and 4. So I'll go to the bottom of 4, which is right there. And the top of 3. I'm sorry if I got my head in the way. Okay. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's going down pretty straight. Going pretty good. That's one of these things that might take a little practice. I think like this is, I did one of these last summer. It was the last time I had done one, but I did it with washi tape. And it was so cool to do it with washi tape because you just laid your tape down where it was supposed to go and then just tore it off. You know, it was pretty cool to do it with washi tape. So there we go. Okay. And there. And we got one more to put down. Go. And then you basically wait for it to dry, and then you're going to cut the edges off. So let me show you. I'm not going to cut them off. I have another one I've already done and cut off, which you might have seen me sneak out earlier. So what you want to do is cut here and here first. So this bottom one, like just trim right there and there. Take that off first, and then come up here and trim this, and this off. Okay. Then when you do that, you can get to the edges to do better, and you can use your snips, or you can lay it down in your paper trimmer. I did find that laying it in your paper trimmer is a little harder to cut when you're using all cardstock. But if you have a piece of cardstock and a piece of designer paper, it cuts very easily in the trimmer. It was a little bit harder to cut it through the trimmer with this. I don't cut well, so that's why I used the trimmer, and it worked. But just putting that there. All right, so now the piece that I have already done, and I've already trimmed it down and everything, is right here. And on this one, I put a like a little border around it. You can do that if you want to. I'm not going to do it with this card. I'm going to do this one just a little bit different. The other thing I did with this one is I took my stamps and I stamped in that background. And I want to do one without that this time. I'm curious. We did this in my class the other day, and I told the ladies I thought it was too much, and they said, no, we want to leave it there. So they left it just like I did this. I mean, they decorated their little thing a little differently, but they went ahead and stamped here. They went ahead and put their strips here. But, you know, I'm going to try it without those tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this piece down. I mean, and I guess if you wanted to put it over here, you could. If you wanted to do a shorter piece and do it across this way, you could. So, and again, you could make it more narrow if you wanted to. All right, my pen just went flying out of my finger somewhere. I don't know where it went. I pulled it out and it like stuck to my finger for a second and then it went flying. That's the craziest thing. I have to go find another pen. I'm constantly having to put a new pen in my glue bottle. That's crazy. All right. And just because this is so thick, I'm trying to be sure I put a good layer of glue. I don't want it to squeeze out necessarily, but I want to make sure that it's a really good layer of glue. I'll leave about a 1/4 of an inch there on this edge. I think that's pretty good. I don't think I'm going to have to trim any off the edges. I trimmed it sort of when I was doing the other trimming. I went ahead and trimmed it at 5.5 and was hoping I did it right. So I think we're good. All right, there we go. And so I don't think, yeah, I did pop that one up. I didn't pop down that bottom one. Pop the bottom one. Where's the, I keep losing one of my circles. There it is. Okay. So I had a circle here and it ended up going off the page a little, and that's fine. We can trim it off if we need to. My monkey, and then my yellow one is here. And then I had my, I think I'm going to take it up a little higher though, because I want to make sure I leave room for my sentiment down there at the bottom. So I kind of lay it out like I want it to look. I may or may not have something to cut off there. Okay, and I do want that to hang over right there a little bit. I could take that out a little bit. So we'll have this like here, and we'll have him here. And I think I'll put this one here. And I can put some more leaves here, somewhere here, maybe under this. Or I might break those. I might cut those down. I'll need something under my monkey over here, a couple here. And then I got to get my sentiment. So let's see. I have anything. This will work. Yep, just swinging by to say hi. Should already be on a thing somewhere. There it is. Yep, and I did it in the garden green. I'm sorry again if I put my head there. I apologize. All right, there we go. I'm going to trim that down. I think it goes down to less than an inch. About 7/8 of an inch for this one. So if you like cutting your stuff before, I'll give you an idea about what you would want to cut it at. Okay. And then I think I did flag one end of that. Yeah, I flagged it over here. Do I want to take that down just a touch? Maybe. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring this back up here and I'll trim it off about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, maybe 3/8. And then this other side I'm going to put in my flag trimmer punch thing over here. Now you could just flag it yourself with your scissors, but I tend to mess stuff up when I do that. So I'm going to use my punch. It's Banner's Pick-a-Punch. Come on, go in there. And let's get it in there, try to get it in there even. There we go. It's close enough. It's close enough when it's late, which it is. So I think, pull this one back up. I think I'm going to put that one right about here. Go ahead and put it down. Let it hang off a little bit because I can go back and cut that off, trim that off. And then I'm just swinging by to say hi is going to be going here. Now, did I put that on dimensionals? I did. Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out. I couldn't remember if I did or not. You mostly need them down on this end because over here, because of all the cardstock, it's actually sticking up a little bit. Might get by without putting them up there. So let me get my dimensionals here. All right, let's see how that looks when I do it. I might still have to stick one under there. I don't know. Yeah, I should probably put a couple more. Just to be sure. I'll put one here and put one over here at the end. And hopefully I put that on there straight because it fell before I got to. Sorry, I'm blocking the view again. Sorry. Okay, so that one's down. And we're going to stick this in here. About like that. This one will go on the, I'll put the yellow thing on dimensionals. I'm trying to decide how I want to do it. Maybe do something like, I don't know. All right, let me cut this off. Okay. Because I could stick one like there. Maybe the other one though. Okay. Because of the way it's cut. I think I'll do that one there, have that there. Have this right here. Let's see. This little guy is going to be over this just a touch. And we'll have this here. Come on, I'll pick it up. And him here. I think I'm going to cut these again. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this yellow one down. You just kind of have to play with it and get it like you like it. So what I'll do is I won't put the dimensionals too far to the edges in case I decide to slip something underneath, okay? And if I keep them more towards the middle and not too much on the edges, at least be leaving a little bit of room to slip something under a leaf if I want to or something. All right, so I'm going to do that. Okay, and I do want it to go like that, sort of. Trying to decide how far over I want it. Right there. And then this one can go right here. I want it to come down over the thing a little bit, right there. And then I've got to get this in here. Be like that, and that'll be like that. Okay, we'll go ahead and put this golden one down. All right. Okay. So, gotta make sure I have room. Yeah, make sure that I didn't put my dimensional, so I can lay it over that one, layer it over it a little bit, and I didn't get it in there far enough. Hang on. I just saw it was partly hanging off the page. Dang it. Arrgh. And some of those dimensionals are staying there. All right, let's try this again. Try it again. All right. All right. Okay, Kim, let's do it right this time. There are better ways to do this if you're careful. Where'd my dimensionals go? So I don't want any dimensionals here, okay? So let's see. I want this to hang over it. But when I did it just now, it was hanging off right here, so I have to be careful. I need to put a dimensional right there. Oh gosh, I forgot they had the stuff off of them. Some of them do. It's okay. I can get it like that. All right, come here. Okay, and the rest of it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just really needed that extra one. All right, now we can start putting some of these odds and ends down. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna stick. And because I didn't stamp stuff up here, I'm gonna like let my leaf hang off a little bit more, hang up there a little higher. And I'm trying to remember if I put the leaf on dimensionals or not. I did not, but I did put the monkey on dimensionals. Okay, so I can just glue the leaf there. And just keep in mind, I don't want to put glue right up here where my finger is. I can put a dimensional there because this is on a dimensional. So I will put one right there at the top of the leaf where it's going to be hanging over the edge right there a little bit. So, whoops. And I don't want it straight up and down. I'd rather it be turned just a little bit, right, like about that. Alrighty. My little monkey needs some dimensionals. It's actually kind of surprising how many you can get on him. So I like to have them on his ears. The little ones fit on his ears really well. And then I can get them, cover his head real good, and even get one on his little body right there. The only place I'm not getting them really is on his tail and his arms and legs. Okay, I don't want to glue him down yet, so I'm going to leave him here. I'm thinking about sliding him over just a bit. Oh, I got to do a banana. I need to remember to cut out a banana. So I'd want one of these. I don't want it to just feel like he's hanging in the air, so I'm putting these leaves here to make it look like he's kind of on a tree branch. Oops, I lost that leaf. I was thinking I had put it down already. So I'm going to do those two under there like that. I'm not going to push this down real hard. I'm just going to set it here. Set that one right here. I think that works pretty good. I'll go ahead and push those down. That glue set. He's going to go here. All right, let's get over here and do this leaf. Probably going to need a little dimensional if it hangs off. Let's see. Let's see if it's going to be hanging off or not. Yeah. See if I can get a big one. Got out of my big ones. Here we go. So that hang off a little bit there. Trying to feel where it hits the piece. Somewhere right about. Brody, you okay, baby? You're my little doggy. Sound like he's spitting up or something. But he does that a lot. Okay. And so he's going to go here. Whoops. Go ahead and cut all these down. Like I said, for me, it's really easier to use them as individual leaves, even though I end up maybe putting them in pairs because I can turn them differently if I do. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe put one there and let it lay down on top of this way. I don't know if I'd rather do that or that. I don't know. I might kind of like that. And then I could do the other one. Do another one like, I don't know if I want one like that or not. I'll do one here though, for sure. Or I could do it down that way. Oh, that might work. Could do that. And then that. Let it go up there. And then I want one to be right here. So there's the difference between that little circle and the banana because they're going to be close to the same color. And I'd like to kind of have the banana against the leaf, sort of. I think that would work like that. And then I might stick this one. That's what I'll do. I'll do one there and one there. And we can get the banana laying on one, on that lower one. So let's get our banana because I'll probably do the banana first. Banana. So I had some scrap somewhere that I was using for my banana, but it doesn't really matter. I can use any scrap. This will probably work right here because the banana's teeny tiny. If I can find it. Is that it? No, this is it right here. And let me get my fresh curry again. Oh, where's my stamp? remember where that banana is. So I can stick it in there to get it cut. All right. I think that's it. And we'll do stick a little banana in there and cut it out. I swear I do think I had another monkey that was already cut out. Just don't know where it got to. That I had already colored and cut out, because that's what I didn't want to spend the time doing it. I could have sworn I had one colored and cut out, but I don't know where it is. Alrighty, so here we go. Let me get that. Again, I don't always cut them great. You just have to trim off the tiniest little bit right there, just so it's not off too much. All right, let me see a little bit better here. We're gonna put our banana in his little hand here, like so, I think. All right, let's go ahead and stick him down. My dimensionals had moved. Hang on, that felt weird. And I never put the little ones on his ears. Let me find my little ones. There they are. I'm about to need to break into a new pack of dimensionals in both sizes. This one's getting low, and the other one's pretty much out, except for the edges. Yep, that one's gone. So I have to use up these edges. Wait, that's not even a loose one. Let's go back over here. I want one of those. One of these. Here we go. I didn't realize that one wouldn't cut through over there. All right, so we'll get the little stickies off of this guy. Come on. Did that come off? It did. Okay. Sometimes the big ones are just easier to pull off with my fingers. All right, I believe they're all off. That one's still sticking to me. So we're gonna move him to about right there. Make sure I've got him on here kind of straight. Although it doesn't really matter. Monkeys can be crooked. And then I need a little bit of glue on my banana. I'm gonna just glue it onto his, pretty much just gonna glue it onto his hand right there. All right, and then I need my other leaves here. Oh, I should have put that on the bottom side instead of the top. It'll work either way. Actually, I'd rather it be on the bottom. Okay, and then we'll do this one. Put the glue on the back. Put this one right here. Kind of deciding how I want to turn it. All right, and work right there. We're going to stick a little banana one right here, I think. I'll turn it maybe a little bit like that. Let's see what this one, this one kind of behind his ear, just a little bit. Maybe I should turn that one that way. Oh yeah, let's do it like that. Okay. You just play around with it and get it like you like it. So anyway, we're about to finish up here with our little monkey set and doing this twisted ribbon technique. Apologize, I'm probably on here too long again. It seems to happen. I tried really hard to have things so I wouldn't go over too long, but I think I did anyway. We'll get better. We'll get better. So if you happen to be rewinding to the end to see my final cards, to pull out the cards again for one last time, please go and find that little subscribe, the little bell, and subscribe to my channel. Likes and comments. I would love some constructive criticism. It would be wonderful. I gotta cut that off. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to help you with your getting started with stamping. An option is to do a Paper Pumpkin subscription to see how it will go for you. You might just enjoy doing, you know, the 9 little cards the way they tell you to do them every month. A lot of people just really like to do that, or they'll do that for a while and they, oh, I want to do more, and then they'll get more. So that's an option also. But, you know, let me help you get started and give you some ideas of things you might want to get to start. Some of the options that might be best to start with. And also, if you do choose me as your demonstrator, and if you spend less than $150, I'd appreciate you using this host code for the month of May. And that allows me to earn points towards extra gifts and things that I can buy to give out people that are watching my lives when I finally start to get to do lives. And then, but if you do spend $150, you want to get those prizes and get those free items for yourself. So be sure, less than $150, use the host code. More than $150, don't. If you spend more than $35 in the month of May, I'm going to give you a free card kit. It'll be 2 different basic designs. You make 4 cards. You spend $50, I'll give you a bonus in addition to that card kit. The best way to reach me is texting me on my phone, 864-752-5688, because I do not have a Stampin' Up, like I don't have a blog site yet and a website yet. You'll just need to go to Stampin'Up.com and search for me, Kimberly O'Brien, to be your demonstrator. I'm in Anderson, South Carolina. That might help you with the search, but I think it comes up if you just put my name in there. I could be wrong, but I think it does. I was trying to remember if I had any more cards here. Well, I have the other one that I did like this. It's a little bit different. But what did I do with it? Oh, there's my designer paper that I made, my own paper. Oh, here it is. No wonder. There it is. It's hanging out up there for me to look at. So they're a little different. So that's the sample, and then here's the other one. I didn't want to use the daisies now because they're officially retired. I hate that daisy punch is gone, but I mean, but you have it. If you've got it, go ahead and use it. And I didn't put any little dimensional things on it either, so I'll have to go pull those out and put them on it as well. But I will be posting all these photos on my Facebook page, which is Kim's Creations with a K and Card Ministry. That's my Facebook. And I'm holding my little white Maltese in my picture, little dog. And my email is Kim's Creations with a K, kimscreations.cards@gmail.com. So I think those are the best way to reach me. If you have any questions, again, the best way is the text message, 864-752-5688. I hope you enjoyed my little cards. I hope you'll consider ordering something for me so I can send you a card kit to make something like one of these cute little cards. Okay? Well, you guys have a great day, great rest of your week, and we'll talk again another day. Bye-bye.